All right, so we are at Youth Mortuary, where the corpses of the people that were attacked at Angwan Rukuba were brought in. Over 20-something of them. I counted at least 28. So at least 29 persons were brought in here. So the government said they are not going to be doing a mass burial, that they will be burying them individually to give them the respect. I saw pregnant women. I saw a lot of young persons, older persons that were killed. So this man was present there yesterday. So he's going to give us an account of what happened. So my brother, please, in details, leave this out.
Now, as at about 7:45 p.m. yesterday night, I was driving down from Ochi Road going to Lamingo, and then as soon as I got to the Angwan Rukuba, I saw some men, on machine, about 4 to 5 machines, and then they started shooting. And as soon as I realized that it was, a heavy gunshot, I had to quickly try as much as possible to park where I'll be safe. And then from there, I started, getting the account of actually what happened. And I realized that so many people were actually shot dead, to the extent that even someone who actually entered a particular shop where that was actually insured to hide, they still went there and gunned him down. And if you go to the shop presently, you realize that there are gunshots, on the shop. Now, why people actually ran was because it was believed that it was NDLEA, because sometimes when NDLEA comes there, maybe possibly to make arrests, they shoot, and that was why all the youth actually ran, because believing that Angwan Rukuba youth are not youth that does not know their right. But considering the fact that NDLEA have been coming there before, they thought it was the normal arrest, and then they ran, and that was why the casualties was actually much, and that was why the culprits also were able to to escape. So as at that yesterday night, some were actually taken to the hospital, some of the victims, and some that actually died immediately, were left there. And why they were left there was because everybody was agitating that taking them to the hospital, there might be, a report of saying it is just one person, and while, the victim were much, or the dead were much.
So the people that you saw,
Yes,
what
sir.
were they wearing?
The people that came were actually wearing this. Some of them wore like a camouflage, and then some of them also were using this their turban. And some of them, one of them was actually shouting, "Is it Andro, something like that?"
NDLA.
No, not NDLA. Endro. That is in Fulani language now. Yes, that they should pull back and stuff like that. So
The camouflage that they were wearing, what type of camouflage was
it was not actually a direct green and black camouflage, but it was black and a little bit deep green.
it? Did you see the type of gun that they were holding?
Actually, they were actually using AK-45.
AK-45.
AK-47, sorry. Yeah.
47.
Yeah. And that was why, if you go to, why I said so, is because if you go to the scene where I said they actually entered the shop and gunned down, you realize that there is even a gunshot, on the wall. So if it were a normal gun, the gun will not penetrate and even give a hole to the door, because the door is actually a steel wall, not actually
The people I saw,
yes.
the bodies I saw,
Yeah.
it's not all of them that were carrying bullets home.
Yes.
So how is it possible that they come down at some point to start using cutlass?
Yes, it came down at some point to start using cutlasses. In fact, we have account of like 2-3 people that you see cutlass on their head directly. The videos are there, to show the evidence of what actually happened. Now, there is one thing that actually baffled me in the whole situation. Now, the police, we've always been hearing that police are friends. And in that particular spot, there's a police station. So even the police station actually ran for their life. These are police that actually they are armed. So we believe that they should have, in one way or the other, even if they were unable to arrest, at least they should have a contact of gunshot. But even they themselves had to slow down the listen and they ran away. So it means that our security is on question mark in this country.
Well, it's quite unfortunate what happened. And like I said, personally,
Calm down.
I am not a journalist, so I'm not aggressive on the journalist. I also believe that we all have the capability to do what they are doing. There's no monopoly in buying people. There is actually no monopoly in it. Yesterday was a very significant day in the Christian calendar. Yesterday was Palm Sunday. In the Christian calendar, that is when the Christians feast and wait for the resurrection of Jesus Christ, which is next Sunday. Next Sunday is Easter, which is the resurrection of Jesus Christ. So doing that thing yesterday was barbaric. The same thing happened on Saturday in Borno State. A lot of people were also killed. Now, it's quite unfortunate that the Minister of Defense, Christopher Musa, I was surprised when I saw him on the campaign ground, that the Minister of Defense was supposed to be strategizing the amount of insecurity we have in Nigeria. You are campaigning? That is the most craziest thing. I lost hope. I watched an interview from the minister, from the chief of army staff, I think. He was saying that they can't be killing the terrorists because just the way he said it, he said like a prodigal son, that they can come back home and they'll be forgiven. If you keep forgiving them, if there is no penalty for the atrocity that they commit, they will keep on committing. So what do we do? My advice to Nigerians and the people of Okuba: do not let this repeat itself. You have a lot of boys, mobilize, strategize, and protect your communities. Nothing more. All of us, they are our body. Not be only them if you do this one. That's all we can say. To the youth of Okuba, see, they are bringing bodies. Of course. Okay, this is a call.
Inside the car, man.
See there, see, go there, go to the
People inside. Inside the car.
You can say anything.
Now you see, before now,
It's okay, it's okay.
before now, there've been different records. Before now, there've been different records that are circulated, in one place or the other, that after the Salah they will come for the attack. And we believe that the security architecture is supposed to have a proactive measure based on the record.
Yes, because I heard there was an info that
Yes,
these people, they put out a word that they will do this attack.
Yes.
And then it eventually happened and nothing happened. There was no measures that was put on ground to protect the people.
Yeah.